Hello, welcome back to the second part of talking about Sartre's being and nothingness. I'm glad you could join me. In the last video, we talked about Sartre's idea of nothingness being at the heart of being, and we spoke about how human beings are in the unique position to be not what they are. Most things in the world, like the rocks and the trees, are equal to themselves, but man or consciousness has a separate function, which is nothingness. This is exemplified by desire. To desire something, we first have to lack that thing, and as a result, we introduce nothingness into the world to become what we want to be. So within our patterns of behavior and ego, there's certain elements which are dependent on the function of the lie. Not the lie to somebody else, but the lie to yourself. Sartre called the lie to yourself bad faith, which is what we're going to be talking about in this video. More specifically, how it's possible for you to lie to yourself. Because we would have thought that to lie to yourself is impossible because you know what you're lying to yourself about. This lie which we tell ourselves has some interesting implications about human reality. Sartre called this lie bad faith. So bad faith on the surface and its colloquial definition basically means something like to act inauthentically, to hold one set of principles and then act as though you are holding another. That's kind of what Sartre is meaning with bad faith, but he takes the definition a little bit further. So to understand bad faith, we first have to understand the ontological foundation of the normal lie to somebody else. So when we lie to someone, what we're doing is creating an internal negation. We know the truth, but we're denying the truth in reality, right? So the distinction between truth and lie rests on the border between my thoughts and my word. And we lay that negation along the filter between the two things. I can hold it as a truth as they hold it as a falsehood, or the other way around, they could hold something as true that I hold as a falsehood. And we create that transcendence between ourselves and our word. That's the lie for the other. The lie to yourself is a lot more complicated because it on the surface seems impossible. How could you possibly lie to yourself? You cannot be both the deceiver and the deceived. It's impossible. Now, psychoanalysts get around this problem by talking about the subconscious. This essentially reignites the barrier between thought and word, but internally in your own head, because what they do is they lie the negation of the lie between the subconscious and the foreconscious. So, for example, if I had repressed my homosexuality and was also a Republican, I might, in my foreconscious, hold my homosexuality to be false, while my subconscious would hold it to be true. However, there are some problems with the psychoanalytic narrative on this, which is that how can the subconscious know what to repress if it doesn't have access to the foreconscious or the normal ego? It breaks down the barrier. Thought is thought. It's impossible with something that abstract to draw a dual distinction without significant evidence for it. So how does Sartre think we lie to ourselves? Because he's not entirely convinced by the psychoanalytic answer to this. He gives an example in his book. So he basically says, a woman is going out on a date with a man and the date is going well. She likes him, but she doesn't know if she wants to take it any further just yet. She's waiting to see. Now, at one point, the man puts his hand on the woman's hand on the table. The woman doesn't really want him to put his hand there because it signifies a progression of the date to a next stage of intimacy. However, she also doesn't want to take her hand away because that would signal a level of rejection which she's not comfortable with. She feels somewhere between these two things. And in this moment where the hand is left and you're neither consenting or resisting, what you're doing is becoming a thing. You're becoming as still as the rocks and trees. You are no longer a conscious thing for that brief moment because you are being swayed by the gravity of the universe. Your project, as of that moment, has come to a halt. And you open yourself up to possibility, the possibility of the world, in the same way a stick might go down a stream. But you are also surrendering your freedom in that moment. This is what Sartre calls bad faith. This is the lie to yourself. It is not noticing the thing by neither allowing it nor resisting it. That is bad faith. Now, bad faith is super common. We love to be reminded that we are an ego, a thing, an object in the world. We do it all the time. You've probably done something today in bad faith. Most self-destructive behaviors are bad faith, for example. Sex is a reminder of the body. Drugs are a reminder of the body. Even some forms of addictive video games, music, anything that we become addicted to is a desire to repeat a pattern of the body exclaiming its existence over the mind. It's an attempt for the body to say, hey, I'm a thing, not a consciousness. Those with sexual tendencies towards sadism and masochism also enjoy bad faith, because what they're doing is enjoying either making themselves or somebody else an object through pain. And what is pain if not a reminder of the body? But the joke of bad faith is that it's inherently futile. You are always running away from what you're doing. If you have a hit of a vape, 10 minutes later, you're going to need to go back outside for another one. You are always a present running away from your past. So no matter how many times you try and become a thing, you will always move away from it because you are a consciousness which exists within time. Now, there's loads of examples of bad faith, but another interesting one to think about is work. The waiter wasn't born a waiter. He didn't become a waiter when he got the job. He didn't become a waiter 10 days into the job. There wasn't a magical moment where he suddenly went from being not that thing to the thing. It's the same with any other job, with a nurse or a farmer or a greengrocer. You don't become that thing overnight or in any moment specifically. What you do is you have to pretend to be that thing. You play at being that thing. You cover yourself over with the objective fact of doing the actions of that thing, and in doing so, you become it. This obviously creates a contradiction. If I am being something which I am not yet the thing, if I start chopping shallots in the kitchen pretending I'm Anthony Bourdain, and I know I'm not, I feel anguish, I feel upset and shamed that I'm merely pretending to be someone. But only through pretending to be someone do we take a step towards being that person. And we have to overcome the constant shame of progressing forward comparatively to where other people are and where we have been. Now, to hold this contradiction, according to Sartre, is to be human. It is the engine which gives us both good faith and bad faith. The present is a gift which allows us to either flee our being, become something else by being it in the mode of not being it, or falling back into ourselves through bad faith, by repeating old behavior to basically stay stuck in a sense of ego and personality, which we find comforting. And we're able to do this because humanity is in the unique position where their consciousness is what it is not. We are an internal negation and a contradiction in reality. Now, this contradiction creates many other problems other than just bad faith, and we're going to be talking about one of them in the next video, where we'll be talking about the structure of time, the past, the present, and the future, and how that relates to human reality. Thanks for watching. I have cut my hair since last time. Not much else has changed. I didn't read off a script this time. I just kind of rambled. So hopefully people maybe enjoy this more improvisational approach. I'm probably going to be uploading weekly if people are interested. There'll be 3 more parts on Sartre being a nothingness, and then I'm either going to talk about Mark Fisher or about a book called Natural Supernaturalism, which is about the biblical mythology and how it relates to the Jungian archetypes. So maybe, I don't know, put in the comments which one you want to hear first. Anyway, yeah, I'm glad this channel is taking off. And when I say taking off, I mean 4 subscribers. But you know, as I said in this video, you first have to be the thing in the mode of not being it. And that is what I am attempting to do. So yeah, have a good one.